Alright, sorry for the delay. Trying to post more regularly. This story is basically about a World Eater champion versus a Nurgle champion. I tried to write it mostly about just the fight, so it takes place, right off the bat, you're in the fight and everything. And there are minor characters and stuff. You don't really have to remember who they are. You just kind of got to remember the two main characters, the two main champions, and you'll have a good time. So, as always, the commentary will be at the end. Oh, and then, before I forget, I wanted to add that all of the images, the videos that you see, they're just meant to represent what you're hearing, right? They're not meant to accurately depict the events in the story. They're just meant to kind of paint the image for you. Think of it like a house with the framework. It's all done, right? And it's all visual and it's all there. And then it's up to you to kind of like paint the house, decorate it how you want, type of thing. So keep that in mind, please. And the super last thing is that during the commentary, also link in the description, will be my homie's music. He allowed me to use it for commentary, just as background stuff. And if anyone wants to hear it, it's like lo-fi kind of stuff. It's good. I'll link it. Thanks. Alright, instead of me talking a whole bunch more and rambling on, let's just start the story. So here is the Plague Wrought Clash. I hope you guys enjoy it. Like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Enjoy. Thank you.
Part 1. Pestilence's Embrace, Roughtborne. The bridge of Typhus Roughtborne's flagship, the Herald of Decay, thrums with the sickly energy of Nurgle. Monitors flicker with images of the chaotic maelstrom outside, where the Death Guard's fleet moves in a grotesque dance of war against the World Eaters.
Steady, my pestilent brethren. Let the rot flow through our cannons. The blood god's mongrels shall drown in Nurgle's blessings.
As the flagship rocks violently from an enemy salvo, a Death Guard lieutenant, his armor pockmarked with rust and corrosion, approaches Typhus.
My Lord Roughtborne, the World Eater's flagship, Bloodthirster, is cutting through our flank. Their rage is blind, but not without method.
A blind rage is the weakness we shall exploit. Deploy the blight drones. Let's give Kharvax and his berserkers a taste of true despair.
Amid the dim light and the stench of decay, the crew moves with unhurried, inexorable purpose, executing Typhus's commands. The sound of explosions and the groaning of tortured metal from outside seep into the bridge, a constant reminder of the chaos that engulfs them.
Commander Scar, report on the status of our flanking vessels. Are they holding against the World Eater's onslaught?
Commander Scar, his voice a gurgling rasp through the Voxcaster, responds. His form, shrouded in decayed regalia, moves with a slow, deliberate menace.
Lord Roughtborne, the putrid promise and festering vow are engaged heavily. Their hulls bleed pus and ichor, yet they stand resilient. The enemy's ferocity is fierce but unfocused.
Good. Keep them engaged. Let every cannon fire, every missile launch be a vessel for Nurgle's gifts. We shall turn their frenzy into the seeds of their undoing.
An officer, her face a mask of rotting flesh, steps forward, her voice a whisper like the rustling of dead leaves.
My lord, our auger arrays detect a surge in enemy movement. It seems the Bloodthirster is attempting a maneuver to break our line.
Predictable. Kharvax's brutality has always lacked subtlety. Signal the Carrion's claw and Blight's embrace to tighten the noose. We'll let Kharvax believe he has the upper hand.
As the ship trembles under another barrage, the screens display the gruesome ballet of warships, their weapons carving destruction through the void. The air is filled with a sense of dark anticipation, the crew awaiting their lord's next command.
Prepare to unleash the plague missiles. Target their engines. Let's cripple the beast and watch them flounder in their own bloodlust.
Part 2. Bathed in Blood, Kharvax. The bridge of Kharvax, the Slaughteurer's flagship, the Bloodthirster, is a scene of frenzied chaos. Amidst the red glow of emergency lights and the cacophony of battle, Kharvax stands over the lifeless body of a bridge officer he has just slain. His rage is palpable, a tempest barely contained within his massive blood-stained armor.
Weakness and hesitation have no place here. If you cannot find a way, I will find someone who can.
An officer, his face marked with a mixture of fear and fervor, rushes towards Kharvax, dodging the pooling blood of the fallen officer.
Lord Slaughterer, plague missiles incoming. Our augurs are screaming with warnings. Let them come. We will bathe in the filth of Nurgle and emerge stronger. Divert power to forward shields. Prepare to return fire.
The officer hesitates for a moment, eyes wide with adrenaline-fueled intensity, then nods and relays the orders.
Yes, my lord. Diverting power now. The crew is ready to embrace the fury of Khorne. Good. Remember, Malgur, fear is a contagion more deadly than any Nurgle's filth. We are the World Eaters. We shall not falter before these rotting carcasses.
As the ship shudders under the impact of the incoming missiles, Kharvax's laughter, harsh and devoid of humor, echoes through the bridge. He steps over the body of the slain officer, his gaze fixed on the raging battle displayed on the screens.
Forward batteries. Target the Herald of Decay. Let's carve the heart out of their fleet. Show these plague-ridden mongrels the true meaning of wrath. I want that Nurgle-infested hulk torn apart.
The officers, invigorated by Kharvax's ferocity, work frantically, relaying his commands. The sounds of battle roar outside, a testament to the ongoing carnage.
My lord, the forward cannons are locked on the Herald of Decay, awaiting your command to unleash hell.
Fire at will, Draxos. Let's show these Death Guard the true wrath of Khorne. Their plague shields will crumble under our onslaught.
Draxos, his face a mask of battle-hardened determination, initiates the firing sequence. The ship vibrates with the power of its weapons, a symphony of destruction aimed at the enemy.
Communications officer, open a channel to the rest of the fleet. Let them hear the sound of our fury. We fight not just with blade and bolt, but with the terror we instill.
Channel open, Lord Slaughterer. The fleet hears your voice.
Warriors of the World Eaters, today we rend the flesh of these pus-filled vermin. Let no vessel stand. Crush them under the might of Khorne.
As Kharvax's voice echoes through the fleet, a chorus of roars and battle cries answer, a testament to the bloodlust that drives his warriors.
Malgur, status report. How fares the Herald of Decay under our barrage?
The Nurgle ship's shields are holding, my lord, but we are wearing them down. Their decay cannot withstand our fury for long.
Continue the assault. I will tolerate no failure. The stench of Nurgle's rot will be cleansed with blood and fire.
The battle rages on, the Bloodthirster a nexus of unbridled aggression amidst the swirling maelstrom of the warp. Part 3. Unyielding Decay, Roughtborne. The bridge of the Herald of Decay shudders violently under the relentless barrage from the Bloodthirster. Amidst the chaos, Typhus Roughtborne stands unflinching, his mind working through the miasma of war to devise a ruthless counter-strategy.
Steadfast, my corrupt kin. Kharvax's fury is but a storm to weather. Now we strike with the cunning of Nurgle.
His voice, thick with the stench of decay, cuts through the din of alarms and the groaning of stressed metal. He turns to his first mate, a hulking figure clad in armor that oozes pestilence.
Lord Roughtborne, the Bloodthirster has inflicted grievous damage upon us. What is your command?
Gulrax, ready the boarding torpedoes. We shall infest the heart of their rage. Kharvax will rue the day he challenged the children of Nurgle.
Gulrax nods, a gurgling laugh escaping his helmet.
A masterstroke, my lord. The World Eaters will choke on their own blood in the face of our plague.
Instruct the Torpedo Master to target their bridge. We'll turn their flagship into a floating tomb. Death Guard to your stations.
The crew moves with renewed purpose, the promise of spreading Nurgle's rot, invigorating their diseased bodies. Typhus watches the preparations, his thoughts as toxic as the air that fills the bridge.
Communications officer, establish a link with the Carrion's Claw and Blight's Embrace. They are to cover our assault.
Link established, Lord Roughtborne. They respond with eagerness to join the fray.
Let the galaxy tremble at the might of Nurgle. We shall sow despair and reap souls, onwards to a glorious contagion.
The Herald of Decay, battered but unbroken, aligns its boarding torpedoes. Typhus Roughtborne stands ready, a harbinger of the plague to come. Part 4. Corridors of Carnage. Kharvax. The bridge of the Bloodthirster is a frenzy of activity as alarms blare, warning of the incoming boarding torpedoes from the Herald of Decay. Kharvax the Slaughterer, his features twisted in a snarl of anticipation, addresses his crew with a voice that cuts through the chaos.
Brace yourselves, warriors. Nurgle's filth seeks to board us. Let them come. We shall paint the decks with their putrescence.
His second-in-command, a veteran of countless battles, approaches Kharvax, axe in hand and bloodlust in his eyes.
Lord Slaughterer, the torpedoes are breaching our hull. The Death Guard are swarming into our corridors.
Assemble the warriors. Let every corridor and every bulkhead become a slaughterhouse. We are the World Eaters, and we shall grind them to pulp under our boots.
Vorax nods, his voice a growl of excitement and rage.
But by your command, Kharvax, the World Eaters thirst for blood. We will hold the bridge and repel these plague-ridden scum.
To the arms lockers, equip flamers and chain axes. Burn their contagion from our ship. Khorne demands their skulls.
As the crew rushes to prepare, the ship shakes violently, signaling the Death Guard's entry. The sound of battle echoes through the corridors, a symphony of violence and death.
Vorax, lead the counter-assault. I will join the fray and reap a bloody tally. Khorne watches us this day. Let our blades sing his praises.
Vorax salutes with his axe and charges out of the bridge, followed by a horde of berserkers. Kharvax grabs his own weapon, a massive chain axe dripping with gore, and strides towards the heart of the battle, his every step a promise of destruction.
Oh, come, Death Guard. Meet your end on the edge of my axe. For the Blood God, for Khorne.
The Bloodthirster becomes a battleground of unimaginable brutality, where the fury of the World Eaters meets the relentless decay of the Death Guard. Part 5. Garden of Grief. Plague Marine Boarding Party. The dark, blood-stained corridors of the Bloodthirster echo with the sounds of battle as a squad of Plague Marines, led by a hulking figure known as Blight Sergeant Grolvus, pushes forward. The air is thick with the stench of blood and decay, a perfect breeding ground for Nurgle's blessings.
Forward, brothers. Spread Nurgle's gifts to every corner of this vessel.
The Plague Marines advance, their movement slow but unstoppable. The walls are slick with gore, and the screams of the dying fill the air. They encounter a group of World Eaters' crew, their faces twisted in rage. The battle is brutal and short.
Their fury is fierce, but their flesh is weak. Onwards to the bridge.
As they push through the narrow passageways, they come across a small contingent of Chaos Space Marines. Chain's words clash against plague-ridden armor, the sound resonating through the steel halls. Grolvus leads his squad with relentless determination, his power fist crushing armor and bone with each swing.
Then no mercy for the Khorne's lapdogs. Let them feel the rot that consumes their souls.
The Plague Marines advance steadily, leaving a trail of mangled bodies in their wake. Despite their casualties, their resolve is unbroken, driven by the will of Nurgle. The bridge is now in sight, the final obstacle before them.
But the bridge is near. Unleash the blight grenades. Let their corridors become their tomb.
Grolvus nods, signaling his squad to prepare for the final assault. The air is filled with the hiss of grenades and the cries of the damned. The bridge doors stand before them, a gateway to the climax of their unholy crusade. The bridge door of the Bloodthirster swings open with a deafening clang, revealing the imposing figures of Kharvax the Slaughterer, Vorax, and their elite Khorne berserkers. The air crackles with the palpable fury of the World Eaters, their eyes burning with a bloodthirsty zeal.
Brace yourselves, brothers. The true test of Nurgle's blessings begins now.
The Plague Marines, led by Grolvus, steel themselves as the World Eaters charge forward with a thunderous roar. Chain's wards rev to life, a symphony of death that promises obliteration. The clash is cataclysmic, a maelstrom of violence that engulfs the corridor. Blight Sergeant Grolvus, his bolter roaring, watches as his brothers fall one by one. Each clash of metal, each spray of blood, a testament to the World Eater's ferocity.
They are unstoppable.
Score's words are cut short as a berserker's chainsword rips through his armor, spilling his corrupted innards. The Plague Marine fights on, his plague knife finding the flesh of his enemies, but the tide of battle is against them. In the midst of this carnage, Kharvax the Slaughterer moves like a force of nature, his chain-axe gorechild tearing through the Plague Marines with ease. His laughter, a sound of pure, unadulterated madness, echoes through the corridor.
For Khorne, blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne.
Sergeant Grolvus is now among the last standing. He swings his weapon with the last of his strength, but the overwhelming might of the World Eaters bears down on him. He locks eyes with Kharvax, the final moment upon him. In a swift, brutal motion, Kharvax's chain-axe descends, and the world becomes a blur of pain and blood. The Plague Marine's final thoughts are of Nurgle's gardens, a place of eternal decay, as darkness claims him. The bridge door closes on the scene of utter devastation, the World Eaters victorious in their defense. The fallen Plague Marines lie in pieces, a tribute to the unyielding wrath of Khorne. Part 6. Breaking the Rotting Gates, Kharvax. In the aftermath of the brutal melee, Kharvax the Slaughterer stands amidst the carnage, his breathing heavy, his armor splattered with the blood of friend and foe alike. The ship trembles violently, a clear sign that other boarding parties of the Death Guard have succeeded in their grim objectives.
This ship is lost, but our fight is not yet over. Prepare for a final act of defiance.
Kharvax's voice booms over the ship's intercom, reaching every surviving crew member and warrior.
To all who can hear me, this is your Lord Slaughterer. We will not go quietly into the void. Board the torpedoes. We will crash our vessel into the Herald of Decay and take them to hell with us.
The ship groans under the strain of multiple internal explosions, a testament to the Death Guard's insidious work. Kharvax makes his way to the torpedo bays, his steps determined, his spirit unbroken.
Vorax, gather the remaining berserkers. Every last warrior will join this final assault. We will bathe in the blood of these Nurgle filth.
Vorax, his armor dented and smeared with gore, nods in grim agreement.
or for Khorne. We shall rend their souls from their decaying bodies.
The World Eaters move with frantic urgency, each one driven by the promise of more bloodshed. The Bloodthirster, now a wounded beast, aligns itself with the Herald of Decay.
Launch the torpedoes! All hands, brace for impact!
As the torpedoes launch, carrying the last of the World Eaters towards their target, the Bloodthirster accelerates, its engines roaring defiance. The collision is monumental, a cataclysmic meeting of metal and fury, sealing the fate of both vessels. The scene fades with the Bloodthirster shuddering upon impact, its remnants a testament to the unyielding rage of the World Eaters, a final, explosive act of violence in the name of Khorne. The corridors of the Herald of Decay are a grotesque tableau of war and decay, now invaded by the frenzied wrath of Kharvax the Slaughterer and his blood-soaked berserkers. With Gorychild in hand, Kharvax leads the charge, cutting a swathe through the plague-ridden defenders of the Death Guard flagship.
Forward! Let no filth-ridden servant of Nurgle stand in our path. Khorne demands their skulls.
Kharvax's berserkers, their cries echoing his fury, follow in his wake, chain axes whirring and bolters roaring. They encounter a squad of plague marines, their bloated bodies and rusted armor no match for the berserkers' ferocity. With brutal efficiency, Kharvax cleaves through the enemy ranks. A plague marine lunges at him, only to be bisected by a single powerful swing of Gorechild. Blood and viscera splatter the walls, a grim painting of Khorne's glory.
The bridge is near. Break their lines. Let none survive.
The berserkers respond with increased savagery, their every strike a death sentence. The air is thick with the stench of blood and decay, the ground slippery with the remains of the fallen. Finally, they reach the bridge of the Herald of Decay. The door, reinforced and sealed, poses a temporary obstacle. Kharvax, his eyes burning with an unholy light, raises Gorechild high.
Break down this barrier. Let the final slaughter commence.
The berserkers set to work, their chain axes biting into the metal. Sparks fly as they carve an opening, a gateway to the final confrontation. As the door falls away, Kharvax steps through, his presence dominating the bridge. Before him stands Typhus Roughtborne and his command, their rotting visages a stark contrast to Kharvax's blood-fueled rage. Part 7. The Plague Father's Gifts. Roughtborne. As Kharvax the Slaughterer and his berserkers storm the bridge, they are met with the imposing figure of Typhus Roughtborne, standing amidst a scene of decay and corruption. Typhus's laughter, deep and resonating, fills the air, carrying with it a tone of dark revelation.
Ah, Kharvax the Slaughterer, so blinded by your bloodlust, you fail to see the truth. You believe it is your fury that drives you, but you are mistaken. Khorne's favor has long since abandoned you. It is by Nurgle's grace that you stand here, his plagues coursing through your veins, turning your rage into a festering cesspool of despair.
Kharvax, his rage momentarily giving way to confusion, grips his chain axe tightly.
Lies. Nurgle's rot cannot touch the chosen of Khorne. We are his fury made manifest.
Deny it all you want, but the truth is as clear as the pus that oozes from your wounds. Your strength, your resilience, the very breath in your lungs, all gifts from Nurgle. Khorne's gaze has turned elsewhere, leaving you to the whims of decay. You fight not for the Blood God, but as unwitting pawns of the Plague Father.
Kharvax's eyes blaze with a mix of fury and denial, but a creeping doubt shadows his features.
No, this cannot be. We are the World Eaters, the bloodied hand of Khorne.
Believe what you will, but as you stand here on my bridge, know this. Your body, your soul, They belong to Nurgle now. Look around you, Kharvax. See the fate of your warriors, their bodies bloating, their skin erupting with sores. This is no warrior's death. This is the embrace of the Grandfather, the slow, inexorable claim of decay. You have been fighting for Nurgle's glory all along.
The berserkers, now showing signs of Nurgle's affliction, look upon each other with horror and confusion. The truth of Roughtborne's words becomes undeniable, their fate sealed by the very plagues they sought to unleash.
This changes nothing. We will fight, we will die, but we will never serve Nurgle.
Typhus Roughtborne's laughter echoes once more, a sound that chills the very air.
Serve or not, you are already part of his grand design. Welcome to the Garden of Nurgle, Kharvax. May your endless agony be a pleasing tribute to the Lord of Decay.
The revelation hangs heavy in the air, a dark truth that seals the fate of Kharvax and his followers, their very existence, now a testament to the insidious power of Nurgle. As the reality of their fate dawns upon them, the World Eaters, once proud and fierce warriors of Khorne, begin their grotesque transformation. Their bodies contort and swell, flesh merging and mutating into forms too horrific for the sane mind to comprehend. Amidst this nightmare, Typhus Roughtborne stands triumphant, a conductor orchestrating a symphony of suffering.
Behold the grandeur of Nurgle's work. You, Kharvax, and your once mighty warriors, now nothing but playthings in the Garden of Decay. This was always your destiny, to become part of something far greater than yourselves. You sought to bring death, but instead you have been reborn into eternal life, a life of endless agony and despair. Nurgle's blessings are manifold, and you have been chosen to receive his most exquisite gifts.
The bridge is filled with the sounds of transformation, the once proud World Eaters now reduced to monstrous parodies of their former selves. Kharvax, now a grotesque chaos spawn, writhes in torment, his mind trapped in an unending nightmare.
Look upon your new form, Kharvax. This is the true essence of power, the ultimate manifestation of Nurgle's will. You are no longer a slave to Khorne's whims, but a cherished child of the Plague Father. Your body, a testament to his dominion. Your mind, an altar for his glory.
Typhus approaches the twisted form of Kharvax, his gaze filled with a perverse sense of satisfaction. He extends a hand, caressing the grotesque flesh of his new pet, a gesture both chilling and tender.
This is the future, not just for you, but for all. The galaxy will drown in Nurgle's blessings, each soul a seed in the ever-growing garden. As for you, my dear Kharvax, you shall be by my side, a constant reminder of the inevitability of decay. The garden awaits, and we shall be its heralds. Rejoice, for in suffering we find true salvation.
Typhus Roughtborne now gazing out into the void, his mind already plotting the next step in his grand design. The once mighty World Eaters, now but a twisted mockery of their former selves, serve as a dark testament to the power of Nurgle. The future is clear in Typhus's eyes, a galaxy consumed by decay, every soul a part of Nurgle's endless garden. Part 8, the Epilogue, Ode to the Endless Garden. In the aftermath of the cataclysmic battle, the warp swallows the remnants of what was once a fierce conflict between the servants of Khorne and Nurgle. The Herald of Decay, scarred but triumphant, leads a newly formed plague fleet, ships that bear the unmistakable mark of Nurgle's corruption. The vessels, once proud icons of the World Eaters, now drift as grotesque monuments to the plague god's insidious power. The corridors of these ships, once echoing with the battle cries of Khorne's berserkers, now resound with the low, incessant moans of the transformed chaos spawn. They serve as a constant, haunting reminder of Nurgle's dominion over life and death. The air is thick with the stench of decay, each breath a testament to the pervading influence of the Lord of Decay. Typhus Roughtborne, his ambitions fulfilled beyond measure, stands at the helm of the Herald of Decay. His gaze, heavy with the knowledge of untold millennia, is fixed on the swirling chaos of the warp. The path ahead is clear, a journey through the immaterial realm to bring ruination to distant worlds. Each planet, each star system they encounter will be a new opportunity to spread the grand contagion. The end is just the beginning in the grand scheme of Nurgle, the eternal cycle of decay and regeneration. The Plague Wrought Clash, a mere chapter in the unending saga of the Dark God's struggle for supremacy. The Garden of Nurgle grows ever more vast, its roots extending into the farthest reaches of the galaxy. Worlds will wither, civilizations will crumble, and in their place, the garden will flourish. The cycle of decay and rebirth, an eternal testament to the Plague God's might. Typhus Roughtborne's voice rises in a haunting cadence, a song of Nurgle's eternal garden.
Ode to the garden, where death's beauty blooms. In pestilent cradle, life's decay resumes. Whispers of rot in the cold, dark room. Nurgle's children dance in the endless gloom. Beneath the pallid moon, our march begins. Through fields of blight, where the cycle spins. Withered roses weep as corruption wins. In the garden of Nurgle, where death grins. The galaxy quivers at our lullaby's sound, where plagues blossom in the hallowed ground. In Nurgle's embrace, the lost are found, in the garden's heart, where all are bound. So sing, O children, with voices drear, of the garden's growth, year by year. In whispers of decay, let them hear Nurgle's song of doom ever near.
And so, the Plague Fleet sets off, a harbinger of doom, a herald of the decay to come, under the baleful gaze of Nurgle, the Lord of Decay. As the fleet disappears into the swirling mists of the warp, the echoes of Typhus's laughter resonate, a chilling sound that speaks of dark days to come. The galaxy, vast and unknowing, awaits the arrival of its new harbingers of doom. The garden awaits, and its keepers are eager to sow the seeds of their god's unholy bounty.
And that was the Plague Wrought Clash. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun writing it. The image generation was pretty fun. What I tried to do was just a lot of dialogue, a lot of characters back and forth. And I really just wanted to do a battle scene with dialogue, obviously, back and forth. And I honestly needed a break from the Imperial Guard and the Flesh Garden story. I'll release that soon, maybe next, or I'll do another story and then I'll release that one. I'm just a little sick of it. And I still need some more work to do on it, or on the last couple of chapters, because I want to rewrite a couple things. So that's just what's happening in the future. I'll let you go from here. If you want to listen to commentary, just wait for a little bit after this, and the commentary will start. I really do hope you enjoyed this. Again, I had a lot of fun writing it. I'm a huge fan of the Death Guard. They're like my boys, so I have an army, and I have a couple armies, and Death Guard is my main one, and I love them to death. I love the lore, and I know a ton about them. Not so much about the World Eaters, but this is more for the commentary thing. So, thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned for the next one. I really hope you enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe. And thank you so much for for listening, supporting, and watching. Stay tuned. Thank you. Alright, so honestly, I don't have a ton to say. I can't really. I'm just really tired right now, and I really want to get this story out, so I don't have a ton to say that I didn't say a second ago. I'm gonna, just like before, these are all the images that that DALL-E 3 generated. And then I use Runway to, it's an AI that slightly animates the images that are generated and stuff. It takes a while to get these images, to be honest with you. It's so difficult to get them to, or to get DALL-E to like make them look like Warhammer, because DALL-E also has the copyright stuff and all these restrictions. So you can't just tell it to make, like, it will not make Warhammer ships, right? Because they're copyrighted. You can word it in certain ways, and I figured out a way to kind of word it to have, you know, the Warhammer kind of like aesthetic and art style and stuff, but it's still its own little unique thing, and that's why I say it just resembles what you're hearing, right? It's just supposed to give you like a really general something to see, something to look at, gives you the vibe of what's going on, etc. But it's not meant to completely accurately depict the whole thing, or the scene that's unfolding, or anything like that, just to give you the vibe. And then it's all blurry and stuff, right? Because if you look at these pictures, these are all DALL-E puts them out at, I don't know, it's like 1720 or something by like 1080. I don't remember, but it's something like that. And then I take that image and I upscale it using another AI upscaler program, which can upscale it, you know, varying degrees, but I use a 4x one that I found works best for these digital images and stuff. And that brings them up to what brings them up to something like 4K, a little bit higher than 4K, but it's about 4K. That makes them look a lot better. But with then I put that into the AI animator thing, and that really, you know, blends all the colors together, blends things together. It kind of fucks up the whole image, honestly, but it adds motion to it, so I think the benefits outweigh the cons in my head. I don't know. For me, I would rather see the AI animated images than just static zoom in, zoom out 4K images. Plus, I'm just gonna start showing all the 4K images at the end here during the commentary, or if I don't have commentary, I'll still just show all the images. I think the trade-off's worth it. But okay, so this story. That's enough about that. That's all I really had to say, because that was on my mind. I ramble a lot. I've already said that, so it's super cool, super great. I love the Death Guard, so obviously they had to win, and they had to win in like their way, you know. I kind of thought that, like, you know, my idea with Khorne's favor leaving the World Eaters, the Kharvax and stuff, I kind of just thought of it as like Khorne was like, he had Khorne's gaze, right, because he was being interesting and Khorne was interested, and then he kind of maybe started losing, and then Kharvax started losing, and then he just did like a last-ditch effort, which is probably something that the World Eaters always do. So I was thinking like Khorne might just, you know, he kind of got a little bored, so he just started looking at another battle, right? His gaze went away, and that guy just lost his favor because he just did something that like all the other ones would do, right? It wasn't really unique. It was just like charge, you know. I feel like that's the World Eaters mentality, is charge, go forward, charge. I don't know a ton about the World Eaters, but I know that they're really brutish and just very direct. I wrote another little story that I I'm at a loss of like what to do with it, where to go, because I'm just writing it fluidly, right? So I'm just writing it. There's no structure in it at all. There's not even a premise. I just started writing it, and so I'm at a loss of where to go with it. But I have a couple chapters done already, and it's with the World Eaters. This is before I made this story, and then I kind of liked the voices and stuff, so I took the voices there, and I kind of took elements of the characters and put them in here. These are Roughtborne and Kharvax and stuff are much simpler characters than these other two. I don't remember their names, but basically it's a like what is it? Putrefier. It's a Plague Marine Putrefier, and a World Eater's Berserker, and then a Dark Mechanican woman and her servitor. And so I might fledge that story out. I forgot where I was going with that, but something about that. I like the story though. It was fun to write and stuff. It was fun to do I tried to add a little bit more to the production, so you know, like those rumbles and stuff whenever the thing, the ship got hit or this or that or something. But this commentary is short, or this ramble at the end of every video that I do is going to be short, so I'm just going to leave it here. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for supporting. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a lovely day. Thank you so much.